Okay, guys. So it's 9:05, and we are just going to start. Like I said, today we'll be wrapping up anything talk for product design. So for next week, we'll get to start doing practical. So before I start, how many persons have gotten response for their research? Hello, Oladeji. Are you saying something? Because I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that the response are coming, but they are not much for now. So still getting responses from other um, listeners.
Oh, okay. So how about your interview? Have you tried to conduct that one?
About speaking of today, yes, like
Oh, okay. All right. So that's great. Today we'll be talking about laws of UX, and for laws of UX, I'll be talking telling us about the 20 laws of UX. So there are different laws, and like I said in the previous class, that all of these laws are related, that you can easily based on the heuristic principles that we looked at in the previous class, you can easily relate the two together. But what the laws and the principles that you've gotten so far is going to help you do is that it's going to help you when you start designing. You would get to put all of these things in your head and in your mind so that you design something that would not stress you. And there are also some research methods that we did not talk about in the previous class that you can easily do to get users feedback. So we'll get to dive into all of that today. So the first law I'll be talking about is Jacob's law. I actually mentioned that in class previously. Jacob's law. Now, what is this law about? It states that people prefer your site to be designed the way that the other site that they visited is. So your design should just be copy of what you have or what is already existing. The only thing you need to do is to make it better. When I mean make it better in colors, make it better in the kind of fonts you use, make it better in hello.
yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We
Oh,
can hear you.
okay. So make it. Oh, okay. So make it better in colors, make it better in fonts. But when it comes to usability, it should just be almost the same with what is already existing. So that's the first law, Jacob's law. The next law is usability effect, aesthetic and usability effect law. So for this particular law, it is said that users prefer beautiful designs, or users perceive designs that are fine to usable designs. So just the way I said, I was able to register on a your word, not because I wanted to use it, but because it's fine. I just assume that it's going to be usable. How your design is fine, because that's what users feel. Users feel that because this person is fine, because this design is fine, it's going to be fine. So if you bring it to our normal life, real life, it will be like, that's why you now hear somebody, you now hear people say, I this fine boy don't have sense. I used to think he has sense. So things like that. Because we just assume that you are fine. You are supposed to have sense, or you're supposed everything about you is supposed to be okay. So that's for usability, aesthetic usability law, that people prefer fine design, or people perceive fine designs as Sorry guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay. Rain is falling and Nigerian network they've started. Okay, so for this particular law, it's saying that we have limited time to wait. It's just like you going to a restaurant and you want to buy something and they are delaying your time. You just know that you're not going to wait for long. So this particular law is about your designs. Your design should be timely.
Sorry, sorry, ma. Which which law exactly are you talking about? Because the last thing I
Doherty threshold. Okay. Doherty threshold. So have you gotten it?
yes, ma. Thank
Oh, okay. So this particular law is saying that people don't have time to wait, right? We don't have time to wait. So your design should be very timely. Anything you're doing, it should be timely that I don't need to wait much time or I don't need to wait for long to be able to perform it. So this is the part where you can use anything that will catch their attention, anything that will make them wait. Um and they will not know that they are waiting. Because if you just assume, if you just make the thing delay, if you delay them and they don't feel like um the only reason you can delay me when I go to buy something is if you're entertaining me or you're making me feel like I'm not going to waste more time. So there's a difference between going to a place where you want to buy something and the waitress, they are so, and you've been waiting for a while and they are so friendly. Let's say you want to buy food and they come with snacks, for instance, and they play song for you. And every 5 minutes, they'll come and meet you and tell you, please, we are very sorry, it will be ready in so time. And they keep you how will I put it? They keep you okay. They ensure that you're okay while you're waiting. You would decide to wait that if you don't have anything to do or if you're not rushing somewhere because of the kind of response and all of that you're saying. So this particular law is like you should ensure that you make your designs timely. But if there's going to be any delay, you should hold their attention for a while, making them feel like they are in charge of the interaction or making them feel like they are in charge there, they are the kings there. If it's for design, you might not be able to do all of those things, but you can keep some form of animations or some form of designs that will make them feel like, oh, let me just wait for a while. So like I said, you use mostly skeleton screen for all of those things, for all of these things. So let me just show us what skeleton screen is all about. Yes, the PDF I sent has the laws, so you just need to go back. But I think that the part that has the law is like the first segment. So this is an example of a skeleton screen. Can see it, right? So this is how a skeleton screen looks like. So if I say design a skeleton screen, you just know that this is what you're trying, this is what you're going to be designing. This is a spinner and this is a loader. So all of these ones, while it's good, it doesn't keep it makes the user feel like it's going to be long, the timing is going to be long. So instead of using this one, you can do something like this. You can do it like this. For this now, I already know that this is a heading, this is a nav bar, this is going to be an image, this is a text, and all of that. You can see how this is better than what you have all of these other ones. So that's what this particular law is saying, that if even if you're going to, you can't control it, sometimes there'll be bugs and all of that. You can't control all of these things, but ensure that you keep your users, make your users feel like they're in charge of the product here, or make them feel like I'm going to this thing is going to open anytime soon. Make them feel like, okay, this thing is going to open anytime soon. So that's it for that particular law. And the next law is fixed law. So fixed law is saying that you should make sure that your target action is always accessible to people, both in terms of distance and, let's say, the travel size. So let's say, for instance, you want to design a button, and your button is what you want on the platform. You're designing a platform, and the goal of your platform is that users should click on sign up. So you just know that that action is your target action, right? So you need to ensure that it is accessible to users. Users can easily see it. So what you do is you need to create large enough buttons. It should be very large. It should be separate from other elements. When I mean separate from other elements, so just the way you have on every website, you see a login button somewhere, and at the right hand side you already know where it is, and it's large, then it should be clickable from anywhere. So that's why when I design, most times I ensure that there are different pathways to get to it. So there's a particular design that I did, that the real call to action was join our wait list. So when I say join our wait list, we want to launch, but we want you to join our wait list before time. So the real call to action at that point is join the wait list. I ensure that on every part of that screen, on like each sections, if I designed the first part and I included join the wait list, where you normally see login and sign up. Then I designed the hero section. I still included join the wait list. I went down to design I left that second section, went to the third section, and I also put the join the wait list. Now, what's the whole idea of doing that is so that at any point they get to, anywhere they enter, they should be able to join the wait list on time, or they should be able to see that button instead of scrolling back to the top to join the wait list. So this is for fit law. Now the next one is X law. What is this law trying to say? It's saying that you should minimize the choices that you give to your users. Don't complicate their head. If you want to especially for drop down, you know that when you're doing drop down, especially for let's say the drop down that you're trying to design is state and capitals. And in Nigeria, 36 states, we have 36 states and their capitals. So just imagine that you want to do a drop down of 36 states. Before for someone like me that I'm from Rivers, for me to check Rivers, I have to go down. Like I have to go down to be able to see the Rivers. Unlike okay, Rivers is even close. Let's say I want to choose FCT, Federal Capital Territory, and I'll have to go, I think, to the last part. You can see how complicated it is. The choices are even much for them to scroll and scroll and scroll. Why not just include a search bar for them, so that still on the drop down, just include a search bar so that they'll be able to search for it. They'll be able to just search for it and search for the state that they need at once and move on with their life. So this one is saying that do not complicate issues for them. Don't make your list very long. Ensure that they can be able to, let's say, search for it, because of you're trying to reduce information overload, or you're trying to make the thing to be as simple as possible for them. Then the next law is the Miller's law. So the Miller's law says that an average person can hold just 7 items in his or her head in their working time. So that's why you see that most times people design most times people, even as humans now, like, right, if we have so many to-dos in a day, what we do is we try to write down this to-do list, especially if it's more than 5. You tend to forget, or you would not even know what to start with and all of that. That's the reason why people write all of those things. So it's the same. For my working time, I can carry just 7 items at once. So once it's more than 7, it's now very good. So now this can be like a plus or minus 2 items. So they can hold 7. Some persons can hold up to 9, and some person can hold 5. So some person cannot even hold up to the 7 items in their head. So for this particular law, you should ensure that you give these users limited options, minimize choices for them, minimize the states, minimize different things. So if you, instead of you to cluster everything, so that's the whole idea behind putting a drop down. Let's say, for instance, put in a drop down for a particular website, you see that on some bank app, they have so many things that they want to list out, but they don't list them all out. They include a drop down so that you can see it. So this is saying fewer things on your design is better. If you need to have any other thing, you should group them. So just the way most banks, they group their payments, they group how where you get to send money, receive money, and all of those things. They group all of them into payments. This recharge your card, all of those things are all under payments. The idea is so that everything will be minimized. Users can easily find what they want, not that you're throwing everything at their face at once. So that's it for Miller's law. Now the next law we'll talk about is goal gradient effect. Now for goal gradient effects, it's just related to you as a human. You know that the more you get to your target of achieving your goal, the more you're fast to complete it. Let's say, for instance, Bolt is using this particular approach. Google Map is using this particular approach. If I'm trekking or if I'm walking to a place that I don't know, I've never been to, the thing I use Google Map, even if it's within my environment. As far as I don't know the place, I'll just put Google Map. You see that you are 10 minutes close to your place, 3 minutes more, it will make you would want to go. But imagine that there's nothing like that timing you telling you that you're close to your goal. Let's say you've walked and walked and walked, you get tired and you don't want to continue. So it's very simple. When I feel like I'm completing a particular goal, or once I feel like I'm reaching my target, I will be fast to do it. So that's the whole idea of step 1, step 2. So you see that if you have a very complex login screen, sometimes you get to see them may classify it into different steps. You would see personal details for the first step. The next step might be your address verification. The next step might be your password and all of that. So this is it. If I feel like I want to achieve this, just like when you know that in the next, so it's going to happen from week 3. Once you feel like you're already graduating from this school, if you've not done much, you want to do much, to be like, even if you have all the questions you have, sometimes you see that's when you see people asking plenty questions in class, because they feel like, okay, after this last week, I might not be able to get access to this person, so I need to ask all of the complex things I need to ask. So the more you feel like you're arriving at your destination, the faster you will be to get to that destination. So that's what this law is about. That's goal gradient. Now the next one is law of common region. So for the law of common region, it means that users group elements together to share a defined boundary. So when you visit a website as a user, you get to make judgment based on what you can see that they grouped. So it's just like when you see something the same, when you see two persons walking on the road and they look alike, the first thing that comes to your head is these people are siblings. They might not even be siblings, just that they look alike. But then, because they are working together and they are like they look like themselves, you would just group them in your head that they are siblings. So that's what this particular law is saying, that we group elements together that share the same area with a boundary. So we feel like these people, because they are almost the same, they are together. That's why you see we have header, footer, navigation bar. All of these things are grouped. Now under header, you would have your logo one side, you have your text the other side, and all of that. So this is the law of common region. Now the next law we'll talk about is the law of proximity. So law of common region is you group them together because they share the same area. Navigation bar, hero section. For hero section, we have pictures, we have text, and we have maybe a button. So that's hero section. And that's the same thing for what's it called? For hero section, that's it. That's the same thing for footer. For footer, you know what you put in your footer. You put different things in your footer. And you just say, okay, this is it. That's law of common region. But for law of proximity, as far as they are close to each other, you group them. So this is close to this. So let's group them to get white space. In graphic designs, they'll tell you the same thing, that you group things that are close to each other so that people can perceive them as the same, or they are linked to each other. So let me show us like an example. Okay. Now let's take a look at this picture. What is this saying? This is how easy is it to book a flight, or all of that? How easy is this to book this? How easy is this to book this? Can you see the top? Okay. So this is like an opinion scale. Now, because if you see the things that are close to each other, you just group it like they are close, like you just group all of them. Now, from this particular this thing, there is normally, I can decide to carry 75 and put it in the center, right? And I can decide to carry 14 and put it here. But I did not do it like that. But then I had to like group it from the lowest to, so the group like this is from the lowest to the highest, and it's also from the highest down to the lowest. Yeah, the section is being recorded. So this is like what this particular law is trying to tell us, that you get to group you get a law of proximity, you group things that are together. As far as they are positioned together, you just group them together. Then the next one is the law of uniform connection. So items that, or elements that are connected visually, are perceived to be more related than elements that have no connection. So let's take for instance, when you see on a particular design, login design, where you have login with Facebook, login at Google, and all of that, we connect those ones together, right? When you see login as Google, login as Facebook, what is it called? It is called social login. So we connect these things that are visually alike. So you know that login as Google, login as Facebook, they are all the same thing. The first one has the logo, Google logo, and the next one has Facebook logo. So because of that, we just tend to see them as they are connected. They are uniformly connected, unlike these ones that don't have, unlike normal login button. We don't connect login button with social login. Social login is a different field on its own. So anything we are grouping together with it are like things that are close to it. Login with Facebook, login with Instagram, login with LinkedIn, login with all of these things. They are all called social login. So we have the law of pregnancy. The law of pregnancy simply means that people interpret complex or big image in simple forms, because images also play a form of um play images has this kind of cognitive effects on them. So that's why you're talking about let's say for instance, you're talking about buy one and get one free. What kind of image will you use? Buy one and get one free. That is what is on your website, or that is what is on your caption on your website. What kind of image will you use? So this is a question I'm asking us. Anybody can answer.
Well,
Hello.
it could be that.
Hello.
But can you hear
Yeah,
me?
Mavi.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So it could be that they could use like that particular like a package, then put like plus another package to make it look like, oh, when you get one, you're getting another one.
Oh, okay. So thank you. So what other image can you use? I heard someone wanted to say something.
Um, okay, good morning. Maybe it could be like some kind of graphic, like text graphic sort of. So you have the buy one, but the get one free is bigger. It looks like maybe in a color that's very attractive, like red, for example, and it has like this little design around it. So it like attracts somebody to know that okay, if I buy one item, I'm gonna get another item free.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like if you want to tell someone, get a free stuff. The one of the colors you use something like a red, and you use a box to represent it. So what this is trying to tell us is that users specific complex users are able to break down a particular image to fit in what you already wrote as your caption. So that's why when we are selecting image in designs, so people feel like design is very easy. It's not as easy as we think. I've had conversations around people will tell you graphic design is not a tech skill, it's easy, it's this. But one thing they are forgetting is that when you talk about tech skills, when you talk about tech is problem solving. So for you to solve a problem, you do all of these plenty things. Now in graphics design, the hardest part of design, graphic designers in this house will tell you that the hardest part of design is looking for a picture that matches with what you want to represent. So it's the same thing as UI. So users will be able to look at the picture, and then they'll be able to break down this picture by not even saying anything. So that's why you see that some persons can watch a video without caption, or a video without sound, and then they would get to understand the video because of the kind of images, and let's say even if it's illustration, the kind of illustrations that they use. So this particular law, pregnance, is telling us that people would interpret complex image in simple forms. So no matter how your image is complex, they'll be able to understand or break down this image to fit what they want it to fit. Then we have law of similarity. Users tend to perceive similar elements in a design as a whole event if the elements are separated. So what this means is that um, you get to perceive elements like they are like elements that are sharing the same colors and all of that. You perceive them as same. So let's take for instance, let me share my screen again. So I'm getting to share my screen now. So on this particular screen, what can you see? You can see that I searched for rapid remote testing, and I can see blue line, blue element as what's it called? Yeah, you can see blue element as the header. So you always know that this is a link. Anywhere you see blue element, you know that this is a link. You see the next blue element, you know that this is a link, right? So that's what this particular law is trying to tell us. It's trying to tell us that people would actually they'll perceive similar elements in a design as a whole, even if these elements are separated. As far as they are sharing the same colors, they are sharing the same shape, they are sharing the same orientation, you perceive them that they are the same. So you know that once your color changes from blue on Google to purple, you know that you've clicked that link, right? So that's law of similarity. Once you click a link, the color changes. Then we have the Occam's razor as another law we'll be talking about. Now, for Occam's razor, it's saying that you should select a design with lowest complication. So this is saying when you are designing, please, your design should be as simple as possible. You can start with the simplest thing. You can start with login before you move to the complex one. But if there's any way that you don't need to have a complex design, reduce it to the core. Work on the simple version first before you now start working on complex version. In short, the whole idea of this particular law, or the whole thing, this message that the law is passing, is simplicity is the best. simplify your designs. If you have login, for instance, and your users are supposed to use 5 steps to log in, why not allow them log in with just their email and their password? When they get into the application, you can now allow them to upgrade their apps and all of that. So that's what this law is saying. Always with a simple version. That's why you see that um that's why you see that Mac, how will I put it? Mac, if you check Apple's products, they are all very simple and sleek. Even if today they decide to bring out iPhone 20, it will still be sleek and simple. It will still follow the same pattern. They might just add 1 or 2 things, but it's still simple and all of that. And then we have Pareto principle. Now, for Pareto principle, it states that 80% of the results will come from 20% of the work. So that means you need to actually design. When you're trying to design, when you're trying to do all of those things, your MVP would be a perfect example of Pareto principle. So it means that if you put in the work very well, if you do the work very well, you would have much results. Designs area that people would benefit from. So it's just like this particular law is design feature that people would need, and then you would not get to even you will not get to go and find users. Design what people want and you would get them. Remember the example of dollar card that I gave in class. If someone is able to capture that, so now currently I heard that the Naira card that they lifted, I think 2 months ago, 3 months ago, they said you can now use your Naira card to pay for dollar, all of those things, but currently it's no longer working. So if people can do it, so it's just like 80% of your results will just come from the 20% of the work, which means fix what people want, give them what they want. So it's just like build features that they will want, build features that they would always need. So they will always need, and then they will want and they will need, and then you would get to your users would come. So what this means is always prioritize your features. You want to build an app, or you want to build something related to learning. So that's what you want to build. What you want to build is related to learning. So the first thing you need to do is to build the first product that people can learn, like they can learn on their own. They can come and learn. Then the next one you can do is maybe to minimize the data usage that they use on the platform. So let's say if they are using 2 gig, you might be able to talk to your service provider to be able to give them. They might even pay for more, but they won't know because they are not getting to use data. Let's say if the costs are like 2,000 naira, you can now decide to make it like 3K, and then tell them they are using free data. It's something that they need, right? So they will get to do it. So think of possible ways to impress your users, just ways of it to impress them, and then you see that they work, you get 80% results. You don't need to even do much, just look for what they want and you get 80% result. And then we have the Parkinson's law. So the Parkinson's law states that a tax will inflate to take up all the available time. So what this means is you should limit the time it takes to complete a task for users to be able to achieve their goals. So I've already explained something like this. Your login is in 5 sections or 5 segments. What you need to do is try to minimize these login segments. Minimize it to like 2 steps. Let them just fill their username and their password when they get to the platform. Almost all this thing we use today, like almost all of our website or internet mobile apps that we use, what they do is, especially for banks, what they do is to allow you register with your username and password. Then when you get into it, it will not tell you step 1 verification, that you should put in your BVN and all of that. Once you do that one, they'll approve that one. They'll not come after like some days. Sometimes it's like after 1 day or so. They'll not tell you, for you to be able to use more than this certain amount, you need to upgrade again with your address. You now get to include your address, where you stay and all of that. They will not tell you, okay, it will take 3 days for us to verify it. Once you're done, see, before you know, You might take 3 months or you might take 2 months, but you end up achieving the verification process, because by the time you keep using them with the little verification that they've allowed you to do, you keep using them to do transaction and you want to increase your transaction level, you obviously want to go to the next step and you want to do it. So minimize the time that people would use to perform a particular task. If it means cutting down on unnecessary steps that they need to click, it will be very good. Just like Uber now, for instance, you want to register as Uber driver. The steps are going to be much, but you can break it down to, like, first of all, just upload your documents. These days now, what they do is, how will I put it? These days they now include Google sign up, so that you don't even need to type in your username and password. You just need to click on it and sign up with Google. So processes are coming up that you don't even need to do the manual one. There's a particular application that came more recently. It's called Passcoder. So what Passcoder does is it saves all of your identification from your ID card to all of that. It saves it in one place. So if you go to a bank, the whole idea is, if you go to a bank and they want to ask you for bring your NEPA bill, bring your Ds, bring your ID, all your ID cards, all your or everything that you use to fill a form is on that app. So all you need to do is, if banks have approved it, you can just send your link to them and they will be able to, on the website or on their system, they'll just put your link and they'll get all of those things that they want. So you can see how this process is. It's now reducing from how complex it used to be to something very simple right now. So that's for Parkinson law. So let me show us another image to explain this particular law. So sometimes I am trying to open these images. So just take a look at this. This is a login, sign up as a writer, but you can see the different ways that you can use to minimize it. You have this remember me. So this remember me is like, this is not a very fine design. No? I'm just trying to show you that it's following the law, but it's not as fine as it's supposed to be. So you have the remember me, you have the signing, or you have all of these things. So you are simplifying the process, you're making it very short. I can, instead of me typing my username and my password, I can just use my sign in with Google. And then even if I decide to type my username and password and I tick the remember me, anytime I come back to this website, I just need to I'll just log in without typing all of these things. You get? So that's what this particular law is trying to tell us. Minimize the process. Your users, just minimize the time for them. If they are to spend before, they had to spend 30 minutes on your website. And then we have the pick end rule. The pick end rule states that users judge your experience, or they judge your platform based on how they felt at their pickup moments, at their peak moments. And at the end, instead of the average sum, instead of summing up all of the experience, they'll just sum up all of those moments. So I have this idea in my head, or I have this problem in my head, that I want to order for pizza, and my pickup moments or my peak moments is for me to click on order now or pay now. So any of those things. And then I did not get issue when I was browsing the kind of pizza that I want, or the kind of ice cream that I want. I did not have any issue when I was trying all of those things. And then I get to the part where I want to now do order now, and the button is not clickable or it's not working. That is where I'm going to judge. I will not get to realize that. I will not judge from when I started using the app. Maybe I searched for pizza and it was very fast. They showed me different users and all of that, different vendors, and I've selected where I want to buy my pizza from. All of those things, I'm not going to judge it. Yeah, I'm not going to judge it. The only part I will judge is the part that my peak moments, the part that the main thing that brought me to the website. So it's just like Uber. I order an Uber now. I open the app and I select the amount. I put in my address. All of those places, have issues until when I got to get driver or something like that. then I could not get a driver. Then I tell me, sorry, there's no available driver around your house, or there's no this, that, or you're going to wait for the next 2 hours for a driver to come. That's it's I did not achieve my goal there. So I would say I would judge that site based on it. When people are talking, they'll be like, I could not even order a pizza from this platform. I could not even use their app to get a ride. I could not, but there were other good moments that they experienced from the starting of the journey. But then it's just that bad moment they'll take. So it's just the same kind of that's how humans are perceived. You can be doing good. Someone might be asking you for 2K every day, urgent 2K, or someone might be anytime the person have issues, the person will come to you and ask you for money. But the day you tell the person that you don't have, that's the day you turn the bad person. So that's what this law is saying. Uh Users will judge your experience, or they'll judge the whole overall website based on their peak moments. So let me show us another image to show this. You can see this on every website. You get you they will always tell you that you should design your 404 error page. So this is a part that the users will focus on. The part that showed them that there's an error. This is the part they will all focus on. This is the part they will judge your website with. So while this is not mostly design, this is not mostly design, because errors can occur based on what's it called, based on broken links. Errors can occur based on bugs from the website. Errors can occur based on all of these. But as a UX person, you should always design experiences that um so why this is more coding, more engineering than the design part. It's in your own for your own good. You need to also follow up the process to ensure that at every time you need to check your website. You know that sometimes when developers they built and they've gone up, they've uploaded it and all of that, they mostly don't come back to the process, or they don't come back to check what is happening here, what is not happening here, and all of that. So it's also in your rights to monitor all of these things to ensure that everything is going smoothly as it's supposed to go. So the next law is Postel's law. So this law is trying to say that you should be flexible in what you accept from your users and limit what you ask them. So flexibility with what you ask them, it must not be very robust and all of that. So let's take for instance, you want to ask a user to share their country and they enter US instead of United States, you should accept it. You want to you want your users to tell you the kind of currency that they are using, and they put naira symbol instead of the naira itself, you should accept it and convert it. You should ask them for limited information, just like Netflix now asking me for them to have access, or Netflix for instance asking me to put my address for them, which we know that is not needed. The address is not needed. They don't need to have my address and all of that. So you get all of this particular. So can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So the next law we'll be
Yes.
talking about is we're
Yes.
talking about the serial position effect. So for the serial position effects, it is said that people would remember the first and the last item in any given sequence. So let's say you give them a drop down, they'll easily understand, they'll easily remember the first and the last. So it's just like so in designs, we have different patterns. We have the zigzag layout. We have the Z layout. We have different layouts. We have the Z layout. We have the F layout. We have the F patterns and all of that. So for the F patterns, we'll tell you that users look from their left. So just a picture letter F. You know that it will come from the top down to the down. Anything in the middle, they won't remember. But they'll remember the one that is on top and the one down. Same thing as Z. Users will remember what is starting from the Z. When you're writing the Z, they'll maybe not pay attention to what is on the other stroke of the Z, but they'll pay attention to what is at the end of the Z. So this is how they tell you. They tell us that when we are arranging something, when we are arranging, if we want users to understand or remember a particular thing, it comes from our arrangements. So when we get to design principles itself and design patterns, you'll get to understand that there are some positions that you need to place different things. So it's just like do not urinate here. That particular sign, they don't hide that sign. If you're walking on the road and there is a do not urinate here on any wall, you would see it boldly written and you see it as strategic points. So that's what this particular law is saying. It's saying that the things that are very important, you should ensure that you place them where it is supposed to be. Place them on the top and then the last, first and last, so that people would see it easily. So the next one is Textler law. Textler law is called the law of conservation of complexity, that states that there's a certain amount of complication that is good for every system. So okay, so it means that sorry, each what's it called? There is actually a certain amount of complication that you would always find in a particular system, but your own is to make it as less complicated as possible. Just like a to-do list, for instance. You should keep your to-do list very simple that users will just come and create and add their tasks at every point, that it will be so easy for them to see it. And then we have the last law, which is it's not the last law, it's the second and last law, which is called the isolation effect kind of law, that states that people are more likely to remember an object that's even slightly different from other objects. So what does it mean? It means that you can easily spot the odd number 24685. No, 2424678. What you spot immediately is 7. So this law states that people would actually spot something that is different from every other thing. So if you're trying to design, let me put for instance, let me okay, so let me show you a particular website and just tell me what you were able to spot immediately you go to the website. So this is a website. What can you easily spot on this website? Guys, are we here?
Yes, I think first is the image, that image of the lady.
Still loading.
Or you can spot the image of the lady loading.
Also,
Transport is
So, but that's not the answer. What can you easily spot that is different from what you have here?
Start your free trial button.
Exactly, that is the different thing here. Every other thing, they are almost the same color, but that's like the odd thing that you can see here. Even where this image is not like it's totally off. It's something that you can see blend it with the background. But that starts it's something that is standing out of the button. So this particular law is saying that people would easily spot that strange thing, that thing that is not like them, or that is looking very different from the whole design. So that's why you should be very careful on how you emphasize something on your design. Emphasis. be careful what you give emphasis in your design, because that's what they will spot very well. So when we are designing, we get to emphasize or place emphasis on our call to action buttons. We get to place emphasis. That's just it. For every platform you see, the emphasis is always on the call to action. And then we have the organic effect. So these users remember interrupted tasks better than completed tasks. So for any place that there's a glitch, they will remember it more than it. If it's incomplete, they will remember that one more than the one that they completed. So this particular thing is saying that if there's anything that obstructs their view, you should bring it back to them so that they can easily remember it. So that's why several people you see this whole approach behind newsletter subscription, where you get to divide the process into 2 steps, where first of all you convince them to complete subscription process, and with that they'll use it to remember them. For step 1, you might ask them for your username, for their name, for their username, or they can just follow to do free trial and all of that. So is there any question so far? So let's try to summarize everything that we've learned so far from all of the 21 laws we've talked about. Summarizing it, you should create cluster-free design. Your design should be it should be simple, based on mental models, so that you can minimize friction in understanding, so that you minimize how people are able to understand your design. Then beside working on user-friendly design, you should focus on the UI, focus on the look, ensure that your look is appealing to users. You should make sure that your action button is always within users' reach. It should be large enough, and it should be clickable. It should be easily interactive so that they can get to know where and where this is. You should create responsive designs to make users feel in control of the navigation. So they should be able to show progress on what is happening and what is not happening. Minimize the choices, the features, break down complex things into simple things to reduce mental overload from them. Then you should group elements in a way that are closely related. Use background colors, use text, use shapes, and use all of these things to be able to group your elements together. Then when limited for resources, you should focus. When you don't have resources enough, you should focus on areas that users want the most, and not just what you have in your distance. So that's the whole idea of MVP. You should position key elements on the left far side or the right, because it will increase users memory on how they see things. And make sure that no action takes more than what users expect to dedicate to it. If users are expecting to dedicate 10 minutes, you should not take more than 10 minutes. Then consider your design done when you can remove any additional item. So what this is, for everything you design, if you check that, is this important? So you classify your elements based on must have, not too important to have, and all of that, so that for you to reduce complexity, you just be removing the things that are not too important for users. So that's it on UX laws. So let me just so that's it for UX laws. Is there any question before we move on to what we have?
Okay, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I've been wondering, talking about apps, I learned that we have like different apps, like just like the boat app. In the boat app now, we need the support, that's the support team, that's the owners of the app. Then the driver that wants to use the app, like that want to be a driver on the app. Then we the user let's say the users, all of us are the users. There's people that are now ordering from outside. I think like we have 3 persons that completes this app. I don't know, do you understand?
Yeah, stakeholders. They are called
Yeah.
stakeholders.
So now, and talking about the banks now, it's just the bank and people and customers. And also I have some apps also that it's just me, I download it, I interact with it. If I have any problem, nothing. So all these things, I don't know if there are categories to these things, because even now, like the some of us that are trying to develop the mechanic stuff app, the automobile app. Now you need the mechanics. Now probably they will be registering on the app. Maybe you need a way to um verify qualified mechanics and all that, just like Uber and boats. Understand? So I don't know if there are categories or ways these things are actually done.
Oh, okay. So now let's get this. For every platform you're building, you have different categories, right? For food delivery app, you have the riders app and you have the users app. So for every app, you get to check the end, the people that will be interacting with it. So that's why there's a chain. So let's go with the mechanic. Any app that involves a third party stakeholder, you'd also get to design it the way they want. So the way you are designing the riders app, for instance, are we using mechanic or both? Let me use both. The way you're designing the riders app is different from the way you're designing the user app. But just know that you really want to design all of them. And each of these people, they have different preference. So that's where segmentation comes in design. And you can't use, so that's why I tell people that if you have a system that has to involve one or two persons or one or two key stakeholders, mechanics, you have the app for users and you have the apps for the mechanic people to register on. You can't use the research that you did for the users to do to judge your mechanic people. You have two sets of users. So you'll be designing based on your two sets of users. That's if you're the one designing all. There are some companies uh that they have different designers. So they can say the first designer should focus on this particular part of the app. The second designer should focus on the particular part. You know that there are different apps, just like both. You can go on both. You can go on Play Store or Apple Store, and then you would see you see the drivers app when you search for drivers app. But if you're searching for both app, you first of all see the users app. So all of these laws, you get to even put them in the individual apps that you're trying to build. Have I answered your question?
Okay, okay. So which means for this mechanic stuff now, maybe probably we're having like two of it. Like maybe
Yes,
huh?
if you're yes, that's if you know that there are some apps that don't involve extending the next people. It can be that you have already in-house mechanics that you can use. But if you have to do another mechanic, let's say if you have to do the other part, then you would have to do that one for them. But for the purpose of this class, which we all know, most persons are just focused on the end users and not the people that are delivering the service. So we are all focused on the end users. For the mechanic app, what you're doing is the end user. That's the person that will use it. If I'm a user and I come to the platform, what am I going to do?
Okay. Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yeah.
Hello, Buma. Good
Hello.
day.
Yeah.
Thank you for the outstanding lecture on laws. I'm trying to understand this laws that you said. Now, is it that if we are trying to design, we have to like pick any law and make use of, because you gave so many laws, or we're supposed to follow every one of those laws while we are designing, or we can just pick any one of them and use? I'm just trying to understand it.
Okay, so
How I can apply it.
you don't pick a law to use. You
Okay.
ensure that your platform or your design is following all of the laws.
Okay.
So that's why I tell people that you don't cram the laws. Like if you decide to cram it now, you can't cram it. So it's just something like I said, one of the things I do when I design is I get to ask myself some certain questions. If I want to design a login screen and I put username, let's say, and I put email address and I put first name and I put last name and I put age and I put sex and I put all of these things, you know that all of these things are user data. Now, from one of the laws that I should not complicate issue, one of the law is breaking them down into what's it called? Breaking them all down. I think let me just send the breakdown. So you don't need to even carry the 21, or we even have more than 21. You even have more than 21 laws. Sorry, let me copy this. You even have more than 21 laws. You just need to put it in your head that okay. So one of the most important things is you need to ensure that your design is simple. It doesn't have plenty things that are not needed. That's one thing. So you now get to look. Remember my example of trying to ask all of these details from users. Now, on my platform, is it very important that I ask them of age? What is age doing in it? Is this something that we need? Unlike banks or unlike some kind of apps that will say 18 and above. When they say 18 and above, then that means I need to collect that age data to be able to verify that people that are coming are 18 years and above. But
Yeah.
but if there's no age restriction, asking them for their age is useless. So I'll remove it. So that's me following one of the law of making the process as simple as possible, reducing the time that users will spend on it. Then I can decide to say, okay, my login button, if I want to make it small, I'll just get to look at it. Is this login button big enough? Can people see it? If they don't see it, no. Okay, I have another important thing on the screen. So let's say the important thing is login and signing, and then I place them side by side, and I'm like, will users perceive this thing as though they are related? Yes, no. Then I try to adjust it. So that's what you'll be doing one with the law. It's not like you're cramming everything. So because some of these laws are related, that's just the truth. But if you group all together, you try to get a key takeaway from them. It's just when you're designing, you just get to put it, okay, is this design very complex? Is this design fine? Is this design usable? Can people click this thing? Did I ask them plenty things? The process is too hard. So by the time you start asking yourself questions, you start reducing it, and then by the end of the
Okay.
design, you are done using almost all of the laws, and you did not even cram the laws.
Thank you. Wow. Okay.
So you've been thinking of how you can cram the laws.
Yes. But it's looking like we'll still cram it
Please,
because
nobody will even
I
ask
need to cram it to know to remember all the laws at the end of the day.
Okay, so I've sent like a conclusion of the whole 21 laws. So the one that is even better to even cram self is that heuristic 10 principles. Because from that heuristic 10 principles we spoke about, if you bring it down to this law that we've been talking about today, you can see that they are the same. It's just that they just decided to just take some certain parts. There are some that are for login, and there are some that are for 401. There are some that are not even your business. But because you're a food and UX designer, you just need to do it. Nobody will ask you in exam. Nobody will ask you in test. The only thing is what they do is what UX expert will do is they already know these laws. So I'll now use these laws to judge your design. That is the design complex? No, it's not. Then it's a pass mark. Are they asking unnecessary data? No, they did not. It's a pass mark. It's a pass mark. Did they do this one? Is a button? Okay, yes, it is. Did they arrange their elements in a certain pattern that people can easily remember the first and the last item? Yes, they did. Then it's a pass mark. So by the time you even understand the law, like me now, I can't cram the law with the names. No, if I can cram them, most times when I teach, I'll say there's a particular law. I won't call the name of the law, except I'm like looking, although except I note them down somewhere, but I can remember X law very well because it's simple. I can remember Jacob's law very well because it's simple. But aside that, the other laws, I just know how to implement them.
Okay.
All right. So is there any question on laws?
No, not on loads, ma. Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Yes, ma. You talked about wireframing. You talked about um CTA, prototyping, and this skeletal stuff. So I actually understand the rest apart from this and that skeletal stuff you talked about um and wireframing. I'm trying to get because I was you were trying to share your screen, but then I did not see what you're sharing on that skeletal and on the skeletal and the wireframe.
Okay. So for wireframe, I don't know, I've said it before in previous class that wireframes and prototype, they're almost the same. But now let me just share my screen. Oh wow, I'm no longer the host here. Please host, make me co-host so that I can share my screen. Okay, so I'm opening them. Let me. All right, so let's. Please are you here, host? I can't share my screen. Hello.
Yes, ma, I can hear you.
Sorry guys, let's just wait for a few minutes. Okay, so I can share my screen now. Thank you. Okay, so for skeleton screen, this is what, or this is how a skeleton screen looks like. Skeleton screen is what you're telling users is we maybe there's network issue, there's something wrong with the platform, but you're making users feel like they are getting to that point. So just imagine it like goal kind of screen where there's an issue, but you're making users feel like it will soon be over. They will still get to the point that they want to get to. Just look at this screen of YouTube. We already know how YouTube is. That this part, the first part will carry what's it called, the image or the video, the carousel or what they want to use for it. That's what this part will carry. This part will carry like the description, and this part will carry a little caption or the name of the person. Now with this screen, it feels like it will be completed anytime soon, unlike the loading. So this is what a skeleton screen is. A skeleton screen is that screen that is that does not have pictures or anything. You're not trying to make the users feel like they are achieving their goal. Can we say a skeleton screen is a wireframe? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so now a skeleton screen is not really a wireframe. Now this is a wireframe. They are almost the same. So so I take skeleton screen as mid fidelity wireframe. Yeah, you can say it is. I take it as mid fidelity wireframe because for mid fidelity wireframe, this is basically what I also tend to do. Now this is also another example of a wireframe, which is not even the best example, but a wireframe is that image, is that frame that you already know the things that you need to ask. You just get to place them there without color. So it's basically black and white. So this is also another, this is a wireframe, black and white. I don't know why they included this color here. The wireframe is the design, or the it's just like, okay, let's use building of house for instance. You're building a house here, and you've already done the information architecture. That's the plan. Then you start designing the wireframe, or you start building the house. Remember that when you build any house, what you see is you don't get to see paint, no interior, all of that. It's just the house, the way the cement is, and the cement color is mostly like this. So that's what you see. So once you're done with the house, you see all of those things. The house is completed, but there's no fine furnishing on it. And then the next thing you now do is, so that's the wireframe. A completed house without paint, without wiring, without all of those things is a wireframe. a low fidelity wireframe. So then when you now start doing the interior, you start painting, you start screeding, you start putting lights, you start putting all of those things, and then I would say that's a high fidelity. So just take the prototype like that. Then for skeleton screen is just like still in the house example. um I'm done building the house, yeah, and before I can move into the house, yeah, I need to clean. There are some people that stay in houses that they've not painted. So just the way the house is already there, the low fidelity house, I can decide to now sweep the house, pack out all of the dirt that I've used in building the house, like pack out all of those things, clean the house, and people can still come inside and stay in it. So that's the skeleton screen. Skeleton screen is like the house is completed but not yet completed. You're getting to the completion part, but you've not gotten there. But instead of waiting and paying another house rent where you are, maybe they are disturbing you to move out of your house, and then you're already done with your own house, but you've not started painting it. You can just move in. So that cleaning that they clean the house is making it look like you can move into the house, but you know that the house is not completed the way you want it to be completed. That's the painting and all of that. So do you now get this particular picture of yes?
Yes, yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah. So is there any other question I'm missing out? Okay, so I talked about social logging and stuff. So I was talking about the grouping of how you group elements. Now in what's it called? You can see this form just the way we have it. You see login, you see password. Now you see or so this all part in every design where you now see they tell you to log in with Facebook, Instagram, all of those things are called social login, and they are always together or they are always classified together as the same kind of thing. So I think I've been able to answer that, or is there any other question regarding that?
Yes, man. Sorry, just to be sure, CTA is a button, right?
It's a call to action, yes. It's normally a button, and we have different types of buttons. When we get to that part, we'll also get to learn that part.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's no other question regarding this, then we have come to our next segment of this class. I gave us a particular assignment that I said we are going to talk about in this class. That's not the research about visiting a particular website. I said visit to and tell me the one that's actually what you're able to check from these websites using the heuristic principles. So this is the part where you just get to tell me the websites you visited, and I'll open the website, and then you have the floor to tell me the errors and the good things you were able to find out about the website. Please, nobody should tell me that they've not done it. How many persons have done that?
Sorry, ma, done what?
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. So so just tell me the website. Emma, just tell me the website that you visited, and I would share my screen to show that particular website.
So I
So
went to career. Where's my Google Docs? You said to check Indian websites for terrible websites, and so I went to this career. I'm sorry, the link is on my Google Doc. I want to check it and be sure.
yes, you can just drop the link on the chat too.
Careerguide.com and click straight. I'll copy it and paste. Yeah. Oh, it's a mistake. Sorry. Says,
Okay. So career quick rooms. These are the problems. How will you use italics fonts to write? Okay, let me know if we start. Then you have the floor. I've opened the website for you.
I'm sorry, 1 minute. I want to go open the laws. So the first one, I'm sorry, visibility of system status. Hey, how will I be switching in between tabs? Visibility of system status. So I can't even see this thing well. So the in my documents, I just wrote that now like most websites that offer similar services, there was no clear call to action. Like I was expecting that at least in this the Euro part, there would actually be something I'd say, okay, maybe book a room because it's a real estate website. So there was no clear call to action. I was a little bit confused because I wasn't sure what was happening. Then I realized the only option was to chat with them on WhatsApp. And so it didn't feel like a lot of the real estate websites I had been on. And I was confused at first because at first glance, I thought that the 65K plus the indication for the number of businesses they had done was a button. So it was confusing at first. So the first part, they failed the first visibility of system status part. Then match between system and the real world. So for most of their icons and just the icons, for most of their icons and I don't know if I'll say illustrations and images, it was actually like matching real world situations, despite the fact that they had so much confusion going on. They actually matched, like the icons. You could tell that, oh, this is a home icon, this is for security. They are like popularly, they are icons that I was familiar with, and even the logo indicates that it's a home theme. So I gave them the second one. Then 3, user control and freedom. So because the only thing at the end of the day, the only thing you can actually do on the website is go to their WhatsApp page, or I think you can call them, but it's only WhatsApp you can chat to them, and you don't get to, like, for example, if you click on one of the images for the places that they have for rent, you can't see more information. There's limited information on it. It felt like I could not get as much information as I wanted. Like, why would I want to go to WhatsApp to talk to you without knowing for certain that, okay, this is what I'm looking for? And yes, you can only chat to them on WhatsApp and call. That's it. And that felt like it was very constricting. So I didn't give them the third heuristic point that talks about like user control and freedom. I didn't feel in control. Also, I don't know if it was this website or the other one. I tried to fill in a form. I wrote jargon and there was no correction, there was nothing. And I could not even go back and refill the form. So I didn't give them the third one. Then the fourth one, consistency and standards. So the design was actually consistent around, across like various pages, because they maintained their hero section, I think. So you know that, okay, that was the top of the page, and then their buttons were consistent. Like the buttons were the same. I think it's this wine color all over the place, apart from like the chat box button for the WhatsApp, which is a normal thing on websites that I've seen. So I gave them that fourth one. Then the fifth one, yes, there was no room for error correction or error prevention. So like I said before, after I entered my details and submitted, I didn't get a confirmation that I had submitted. I wasn't sure if it was submitted or not. I could not redo it. There was nothing to indicate that, oh, okay, you have submitted the form, or you have filled this information you filled has been registered with us. Nothing. It just reloaded the page again. And when I tried to fill it again, it didn't even let me fill it at all. So I just got frustrated. And so I didn't give them the fifth one. So the sixth one, recognition rather than recall. Actually, because their elements were repetitive, like the buttons, for example, and then it was consistent across like most of the pages, it was easy for me to recognize that, okay, this is, apart from the WhatsApp button again at the top, which I'm guessing is like that because they used a different color for their, what's it called? For the top share. Apart from that, the excuse me, the buttons were the same. So it was easy for me to recognize buttons, which was primarily the only thing that I felt like. And the design was repetitive, it was consistent, so it was easy for me. So I gave them that sixth one, recognition rather than recall. I didn't have to remember how to go about some of these things. I just knew that, okay, on the first page, this was a button. On this page is also a button. Flexibility and efficiency of use. I felt very constricted because I could not do anything on the website other than read things that were not necessarily the information I was looking for and chat to them on WhatsApp. Like, I felt like there should have been more things that I could do. It's a real estate website. I want to be able to, even if it was a messaging feature in app or customer service or something, or if that wasn't even the case and it was like a situation where I could like get like way more pictures than the bedroom pictures that they put, and I think balcony pictures, I could like get more information on the website. I could see like I could get like a page, I could get more. It was just two places I think that I was able to like view in detail. So that frustrated me. So I didn't give them flexibility and efficiency of use. I felt very constricted on the website. Aesthetics and minimalistic design. I did not think their design was minimalistic in the least bit. First of all, the font was very interesting. Then there was the fact that they used a gradient screen for their gradient color for their hero section. It was giving too much. It was all over the place. And then also, after you leave the hero section, the body of the website, there was a part where they just put like all these things in boxes and they're talking about security and this, and they overlaid them. If it was animated, maybe it would have looked better, but it looked very funny and very all over the place. So I didn't give them aesthetics and minimalistic design. Then help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. They definitely did not do that because I did not even know what I was doing for the most part on the website. I did not know whether I had successfully filled the form that they asked me to fill, or if it was like, if it had been submitted, if I could correct the information I put, because I typed jargon, like I said before. So I could not recognize that there was an error. The other website I did, it was almost the same thing in this aspect, but when you enter your email, when there's no art, it recognizes that and lets you know, oh, you can't submit this form because there's no art, and your email should contain an art. So there was nothing like that on this website at all. So that was stressful. Help and documentation. The website was all over the place from the get-go, and I kept expecting to see something other than the WhatsApp button. So I will not give them these points because, to be very honest, I was struggling. with the website. Find I could not find most of the things I actually wanted as per the real estate website though. Like, I could not pick locations. Most real estate websites can like easily pick locations. I don't think I came across a search space button at any point in time. The thing was just everywhere. So that those are 10 of them. I'm done.
Oh, okay. Hello. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so everything you noticed on this website is actually correct. First, I don't even understand the whole idea behind keeping this particular one easy stay. But the first thing that comes to my mind when I see this is like a food red and yellow, mostly for food. And this illustration, I don't even know if they are building for children or it's for adults and all of that.
Sorry.
Hello guys, I'm sorry, Lemma. I had network issue. Please, host, if you're here, make me Chinwe, can you please make me host? I noticed that this thing came to you. Chukwuemeka, are you here? Please just make me host. Hello?
Hello, hello.
Please, can you make me host? Chinwetalu, yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you. Rema, I think you were still talking about the last website, which is this. Yeah, this is where we were before.
You were saying something about how you didn't know if the design was for children, then you got cut off, so we didn't hear you after that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll say that particular design, actually everything you notice about that design is valid because the illustration itself, I don't know if the design is for children or it's for adults, just so many things wrong with this design. The first thing I was even able to spot was them using this kind of italic font for the design. Then the second again, sorry guys, please, same thing, Chukwuemeka, just help me revert it. This time around, it should not go off again. Okay, thank you. All right, Rema, you can continue. I think me, I'm done with mine. So while Rema is completing this, the next person, please drop your website on the chat so that I can also open it.
Okay, so this website. So the first one, visibility of system status. So the platform produces instant feedback per action, and it keeps users informed of each action they take. So the website actually, like, once you hover over something, it shows there's a card that is showing you, okay, this is what this does, this is what it's doing. And then when you click on the button, it's showing you what is happening. There's information, so it's keeping you informed every step of the way. So I give them the first one. So the second one, match between system and the real world. From what I noticed, their logo, oh no, that's the wrong one, I'm sorry. The icons, the images, the illustrations, they are descriptive in that they are easy to identify and recognize. So it was easy for me to say, okay, this is what they are. Like the talk one, they put a video, can't see it from here, but I believe, if I remember correctly, they put a video call icon on it so that you can see when you're talking via audio call or video call to one of the counselors. So in that, I actually give them the second one because they did that well. So there was good user control and freedom. The third one, I actually, as a user, I could easily say, oh, I want to move between the pages. And then like, although there was also the problem of like not being able to easily just go back. But when I was doing like on my laptop, I cannot go back. But when I was doing it on the Mac, because of the sliding front and back distance, it was easier to do. But on my own laptop, I can't go back within the website. I have to either use my browser to go back or press the home, the logos to take me back to the home page. So that was very stressful when I was using my desktop, and it was hard for me to move between one place and the next place. So that was restricting. But other than that, every other part of the website, like you actually had control over what you were doing. And it was easy to know that, okay, well, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm doing, this is how to stop this is how to do this. Then the fourth one, consistency and standards. So I believe that design system was consistent because even if the button colors were not exactly the same, they were very closely related. So it was like very close to like the main button. So like all the buttons, you can tell, okay, this is a button because they use the same color across the design for their buttons. So it was easy to recognize, and even their images and things like that, you know, okay, this is what they are talking about for the most part. Then the fifth one, error prevention. Like I said when I was talking about the first one, the only time that there was actually any error prevention when I was filling a form to get them to like to speak to like a counselor, or like I wanted them to like give me information on, I think getting an admission abroad or something. So I clicked on, I filled the form. I filled jargon in the form on purpose to see if like there was anything I was going to point me in the right direction. So after I filled the form, the only correction that I got was, oh, okay, we are going to, the only correction I got was that, oh, okay, you didn't put at in your email. Your email should have at, the at symbol. So there was that. But other than that, there was nothing that was indicating or pointing in direction that, oh, you didn't fill the right information for this. Even the number field, there was a field for filling your phone number. When I entered my phone number, I put letters and they didn't indicate that, oh, you are putting the wrong thing. Or there was nothing like, oh, country code or all those things. So that was in itself a little, that there was like poor error prevention. Then recognition rather than recall. Like I said before, because the website has like similar buttons, similar colors for the buttons, and like the button shape, the button color, all those things, they're easy to recognize across the entire design. So it was easier for me to say, okay, it was easy for me to recognize that, okay, this is a website and this is a button, like this is a call to action, things like that. So I gave them that one. Then 7, sorry, flexibility and efficiency of use. Despite the fact that I could not move between the pages easily, with every other thing that I interacted with, it was actually pretty easy to use. I like the fact that it was informative, and then like when I hover over something, I can tell, oh, this is the active and inactive state, you know, all those type of things. And then like it was just a lot easier for me to move around, to recognize things on the website and to move around apart from moving from page to page. So like when I was on cards, for example, it was easy for me to just interact with the design. So I gave them half mark there because it was stressful at one point. Then 8, aesthetic and minimalistic design. The design was bulky. From the moment I entered it, I felt like there was too much going on at the same time. There were so many counselors to talk to, and you could still see more. Like I didn't feel like they needed to put all that on the landing page. Then when you scroll to the rest of the design, so much information, even their footer too much information. They put all these places abroad you can study on the landing page. I feel like it would have been easier for that to be expandable. Maybe a card that shows more, and then like a button if that's what you're interested in. But if that's not what you think, because they offer so many services, And if that's not what you came to the website to do, it's very easy to get carried away, confused or frustrated because there's so much information. There was way too much happening on the website at the same time. So aesthetics, I would not give them that because it wasn't, the images, for example, were poor, I think, like image quality. Then there was the fact that it wasn't minimalistic in the least bit. It was too much happening everywhere at the same time. At one point, I was like, I'm tired of reading because there's so much information just on the landing page. So I didn't give them that. And they didn't put although unlike the other side, they put aesthetics over functionality. But yeah, they did not do that. But even then, it was still too much happening at the same time. Then 9, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. In the same way I said that I could not move back. Like it wasn't easy for me to go back to a page I was on while I was on the website. There was nothing to move between pages. Apart from once you have clicked on an action, you have to follow it through or go back to the home page. Or if you're using a Mac because of the sliding function. So that was limiting for me. But and when you fill the contact cards too, there was nothing to indicate you should actually be filling numbers here instead of letters, or you should, because you asked for phone number. The only thing was the @ for the email. Then 10, help and documentation. So the help was actually very useful because despite the fact that I felt like I was dealing with too much at the same time, when I actually eventually got to like find what I felt I was looking for, it was easy for me to say, this is what this button does. This is what I have access to while I'm on the website. The calls actions were clear. There were cards across various parts of the website describing, the things that you're doing, where you are. So it was very descriptive. So I'll give the help like that mark. But the documentation, I think the documentation could have been done better. Because like I said, it was too much at once. But at the same time, it was actually really helpful. So I gave them that 10th mark. That's the last one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Emma. One thing I enjoyed about this is that you took time to interact with them. So it's not just like you're just looking at the website and trying to assume it. The website is aesthetics and minimalist design. It's not even fine, first of all. But they actually followed most of the principles. Although for help and documentation, the only thing that you could do is to call them or you WhatsApp. Okay, there is a chat here, so I can be able to chat. They followed almost all the principles. All right, so who is the next person? Your website, please, so that I'll share it. Okay. Ah,
Okay. Um, uh, I'm just going to, I'm trying to, I'm going to try to make it fast so that I don't spend too much time. So I found this website and the second one, I think yesterday, looking for website terrible designs and bad feedback. So this can more or less be like a website for like that came out of a teenager's school project or something. Because um from the first glance already you are already confused as to what you are doing. If you scroll down all the way, it's just a whole lot of information put on top of information, put on top of information without any um aesthetical what's it called? There's no aesthetical value. It's just so busy to the eyes unless you actually take time to start to read through it. So one thing I came to find out was that the only way you can get some sort of, yes, it's for an art school. The only way you can get some sort of understanding of this thing is if you read what's on the orange side of the screen on the left side, and it's more or less for an art school, for the Yale School of Arts. The only people who can make any sort of edits to this page at all are students or people in their arts community. So as we are users, we more or less don't have any sort of we don't have any sort of help. We can't do anything about it. I have also I tried to contact them concerning their like page, and like I was sort of confused, and they didn't respond until now. They have not responded. So I just put it on the fact that okay, maybe um they have a lot of people sending mails. And before this, I should even tell you that before this is not how the page looked before. The background was not Yale School of Art. It was actually a GIF of a man speaking. So it was just very confusing having to pay attention to the information that was placed there, and then having to look at the man speaking. Like he was just talking, and no, you couldn't hear what he was saying, but it's a GIF. It was playing, and then you could see what he was saying as the text, like a subtitle under it. So it was such a busy page, and yeah, I'm just going to. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to spend too much time. Sorry. Uh, um. Okay, I think I'll just do like an overview of everything, like how Rema did. So for visibility of system status, it is not really working out here because, like, as someone who maybe because I have the eye for like looking out for information on the website, it makes sense to me in some way. But if I was someone who like does not really have time and I want to get things done, I'm trying to look for some sort of information. My eyes will not even tell me that there is a button by the side where it says I can pause the animation. Because before, um, when it was demand speaking in the background, it was just so confusing, and I skipped the pause animation button that's on the left side. So I was just confused. If I didn't see it on time, I wouldn't have known that, okay, there's actually a way this thing can be easier for my eyes. So the visibility of system status is like, it's not user friendly. Like it's not user friendly. I can't really understand um anything going on here unless I actually read through it, because most of everything that is here is just text. Then match between system and the real world. There are no icons on this page. It is just text throughout. There really is no um design per se. Everything is just information that has been put to you. It's almost like you go to school and you're meant to be in a practical class. But every time you go to class, it's just theory that they're giving to you. So I can't really like um have there's no visual appeal. It's just all messages, text and text and text. There's nothing really to look forward to. Then user control and freedom. You can control the page. At least we've been able to establish that at the left side of the page, there is the pause animations button. However, you can't really control what happens when you tap on some things, because I noticed when I tapped on the banner that was showing like an event that was going to happen, um, it took me to another page. So when I wanted to go back, it took me to the page of the event, rather like the banner page. It took me there. However, when I wanted to go back, it took me to another page entirely, and I had to tap. Maybe it was just me. I don't know if you tap, if you click on it, rather, if same thing would happen for you. But when I clicked on it, it took me to the banner page. Then it took me back to a page filled with events that was not there in the first place before I was not eventually able to get back to the original homepage. Then consistency and standards. I mean, we can very well say that the whole page is consistent in its design. Everything is the same, but it is just familiar. So if I see this page from somebody's phone, like at a glance or something, or if I'm far away, I automatically know that this page is for that art.io.edu, and it's an annoying page. I don't really want to go through it because it's quite bogus and everything. Then error prevention. Uh, I think there are no there are sorry there were no error codes or like error pages when I was going through it. I noticed that some of the links, I think maybe they have expired. Although this is updated now, but when I clicked on it the first day, some of those links had expired. So it didn't take me to like an error page, like to show that, oh, this event has now passed or this information is no longer valid. It just took me to a blank page. So there was no there was no clear message or warning. It just was there. Like they just left it there. Um, Flexibility and efficiency of use. We can easily scroll through the page and click on anything. We can open as many tabs as possible. We can click on as many um events or text banners here as possible. The only thing is that when you click on all of them, it will not take you back to the, like if you want to come back, it won't bring you back to the original homepage. It should redirect you to another page entirely. And um you are like you're already like you're at the mercy of their what's it called? Their server or something. You can't come back to where you want to come back to. You have to go back to through their own um how do you say? You have to come back through their own path, like the way they've um structured it. That's the way you have to follow because you are unable to do it your own way. Aesthetic and minimalist design, I think we cannot skip that because there's nothing aesthetically pleasing about this page. Um, Help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So, okay, I think I may have jumped somewhere. Okay, I'm not sure now. But okay, there is no like I said before, there is no error message, there is no um recovery, there is nothing like that. The only thing is that if you click on something that has expired or is no longer valid and you see in your um website where you type your website link and you say about blank there, you just need to go back. There is no correction or anything of the sort. Help and documentation. I think, like I said in the beginning, you sorry. Okay, like I said in the beginning, it takes a while for them to get back to you. There are no facts, FAQs. There's nothing of the sort. You are on your own. When you come here, you don't enter them, you don't enter them. There is nothing, there's no help for you. You really can't make your way through it. You are just on your own, really. And then finally, is that all? Um, yeah, I think that's all. I don't remember. For this page, that was what I was able to um notice or capture, I guess. it was just it's like a page from it's like a website from hell. You open it, you are automatically confused, and then it just leaves you wondering like, am I in the right place? Is this really a school website, or did I make a mistake, or am I about to be scammed or something? So yeah, that's what I got for that's what I got for this one.
Actually, this is website from hell, because I don't even think, truthfully, I don't think I would actually get to use heuristic principles to judge this website. If I was the one that visited this website, I would just change direction, because obviously there will be nothing good. Like, I don't even. So let's just assume that the person that did this website is learning how to code for the first time. But even at that, this is not a website too. So let's go to the second one. Please promise us that the second one is not as bad as this.
I I can't make any promises.
Ah, where did you
Okay,
get your website from?
sorry.
Where did you get your website from? Because this
Um,
one, first one, I don't even know which is better.
I was asking a bunch of my friends for websites that they have used. So I got some answers from them, and then I just picked the two of the most terrible ones that they use crayon. No, no, okay. So this is just the landing page of this website actually. And the work actually starts when you click on one of um what's it called? Anything here. So so ah we're going to have to start again. 1 second, please. So first thing you notice about this website is like somebody said, it's as if they used crayon to do the website. It's like all the colors are just clashing everywhere. There is like it's it's incorrect color usage. Um, everything is just everywhere, and before you can even see where to contact, like normally on a normal web page, like a good web page, having to if we're coming to the real world where the person is not trying to make you give your life to Christ a second time. If you check, you would see like the contacts button is at the top of the page where you can easily access help or anything. But if you look at this page and all of the other pages under this website, you notice that the contact thing is the last. It's not mentioned anything anywhere else. It's always at the bottom of the page. And even in some of the pages, it is not there. So it's just like really annoying. Again, you are confused. Again, you are frustrated. It is giving you information, yes, but it is not. It's a kind of thing where you just want to open your eyes, find what you want, and get out without having to like um what's it called? Without having to spend so much time on the thing, because it will just make you frustrated and make you want to like kill somebody or kill the person that um did the website. So I don't know if I should go through everything
Yeah, go
again.
ahead.
Okay, okay. All right. So let's see. So visibility of system status. If we go back to the home page, for example, it's very, should I say, it's easy to know what you are doing in a way. It's already giving you like shortcuts to things that this is like a place where you can, it's like a catalog where you can see things for x-rays, um like equipment and stuff. So it's already like giving you shortcuts to things you can get to quickly, things you can get to straight up without having to search too much. Because before, and I actually know this site from like a while back, before there was no text here. Like there were no shortcuts here. It was just search for X-ray products and you are on your own. If you don't know the name of the X-ray products, they don't care about your life. You will just figure it out and put it inside the search bar and look for it. And God help you if you don't get it. Because if you don't put the right thing there, if you put like, for example, let's say you're looking for mobile lead barriers and you put it inside the search for X-ray product and you only know mobile barriers, you do know that there's lead in between. It won't give you suggestion. It won't give you like it won't give you were you looking for this instead. It will just say not available or it does not exist. So it's like it's easy now. It's easier now for you to um figure your way around things. Match between a system and the real world. So in some way it is understandable. You know what you are doing. If you are like going to um if you are going to ignore the background and the very annoying PNWX banner that is flashing in your eyes at the top of the screen, if you are just looking for information, it's very easy for you to um, understand, but it's not really pleasing to look at. User control and freedom. Unlike the other page, this page is very easy for you to use. You can click on anything and it will take you to where you want to go to. And maybe if you made a mistake, um, clicking on a button, you can always go back. Like it doesn't stress you out when you are clicking or tapping on any of the buttons there. Then, because the page is very, very, excuse me, the page is very, very consistent in its in its design. This is um the same background you will see on every single page. There is no change whatsoever. Um, it's everything is the same thing. There is nothing different about any of the pages besides the information that you will get on any of them. And even up to the icons that are close to um, the text there, all of them are the same thing, which in some cases may be an issue because some people would want maybe they want something that is different from so that they don't think that okay, I want to get lead glass. And because the icon is the same as lead curtains, I now like skip lead glass and go and click on lead curtains. But for some other people, everything being the same thing the way they are without any changes is fine for them. Um, Error prevention. There are no error messages, there are no warnings, there's no are you sure or anything of the sort. It's very straightforward. It's almost as if they're saying like before you click anything, you should know what you want to click on because we're not going to fix anything for you. It's like they don't have time and they don't want to be stressed. So they don't want you to stress yourself either by stressing them. So it's like just know what you want to do and um be careful. Yeah, on your own, basically. Uh Recognition instead of recall. Uh Sorry, excuse me. So there I'm not really sure how to explain this one. Okay, so for example, I don't think this is a good recognition instead of recall function because like I said, everything looks the same. Okay, no, it is actually a good recognition instead of recall, because everything looks the same, yes, but the text on each of these um menu the pages here that are linked here, they're all different. They all give different information. So it's easy for you to recall that, okay, as much as they all have the same color or background or everything, the information given out on each of these pages are different. So it's a good one there. Then flexibility and efficiency of use, it's a good one here too, because you can use the page how you want to. You can go to any page you want. You can scroll left, right, up and down. Okay, if your screen was smaller, you can scroll left, right, up and down. And you can even copy and paste. You can you can even copy and paste. You can uh take pictures out of, you can what's it called, save pictures from the page, because they have pictures on each and every one of the pages, showing what the thing is, like showing what each of the items or the products are. So you can save from them, you can copy, and yeah, there is a good flexibility there. Then aesthetic and minimalist, minimalist design. This is like more of a zero here design from scratch. This is like a zero here, because first things first, before, actually, the blue on the background was like blue but with rainbow colors. So I would have even posted another um another website that was even more terrible than this, but I don't want to be wicked. So there were rainbow colors on the background of this page, and it was so like irritating to look at before, that immediately you open the page, you will close it, because you almost look as if it almost looks as if you're coming to maybe a dark web, or you are coming to a page that is not meant to be a published one or something. So now they have, I think after a lot of people had complained that the page was disgusting to look at, they have removed the rainbowness of everything and just left the blue thing there, which is still annoying to look at, sharp, but um, it is not aesthetically pleasing in any way. It is another website from hell, basically, and and it is annoying, but it gets some of the job done. Then there are no error messages, like error for or anything of the sort. If a product, this website is just showing you X-ray products. It's not really doing anything much. So everything that is there now, more or less, it has been the same thing that's been there for maybe 2 years, besides the um, design at the back that had a rainbow before. Everything that's been there now has been there for a while. Maybe they would have what's it called? Updates from time to time, but not as much. It's everything is just there. So you won't be getting any error messages unless you have um bad network or something. Then help and documentation. Uh there are no FAQs. Like there is no, yeah, on your own. Basically, there is nothing to show that you, there is a contact us line, there is an email line here and everything, but you are basically on your own if you are not clear on anything else. The only way you can get any sort of help, or you can be sure of something, is if you contact them. And even when you contact them, 666. even even if you contact even if you contact them, it will take a while for them to respond to. And this website is not really one that has a lot of traffic, because nobody really uses this website again. There is a better website for getting X-ray products from now. I can't really remember the name of that one, but I know I saw it on Wednesday. But this one now, as much as it doesn't have a lot of traffic, it still takes them eons to get back to you on something. So yeah, the two these are my two websites. You can close them now so that it doesn't crash your system.
Ah, these websites are. Rema is going to be redesigning one. This particular, the first one. Is it the first one? The second one. Then I'll look for another person that once you annoy me, you design the second one so that you see work. Please, what's this Visa card and MasterCard for? If I click on it, will they give me money?
No, no. The Visa card and it's just there. It's just like an unclickable picture. It's more or less just showing you that if you want to buy something from them, these are the ways as to which you can buy them. So you can see that everything is the same. There is no design. There are no icons. Everything is just the same constant um stuff. Yeah.
This website are actually good. They are good in the wrong way. But is there any other person that you have a website that you've checked? I'm not even supposed to be asking, is there any other person? I announced it that today is for this particular we're going to be checking these websites. So just Rema and should I start calling names? Okay. Please come on 17. Just tell us your name. Let us know who is in class. Pen Island Pen.
Okay. Okay, I'm for the Tijani.
Oh, okay.
So this is the website I'll first talk about. Like coming here to the website. So the first thing I'll first say is you can also see the background of the website, which is not good at all, and the usage of the shadow. I don't want to take long. So the usage of the shadow is not really okay. I don't even know why someone would just come to website and what of the space, the negative space there doesn't make any sense. And using a texture for it. So I can say the color usage is good. And even when you are under a particular tab, it signifies that you are under this tab. So the content is short and it's minimal. But the first thing I will say is if a person that's not well educated just come to this website to buy wood or to order woods, it won't be easy for him to get what he really wants, because you have to create website for other people that are not privileged to, they are not icons that you can simply see and you say you identify that this should be contact and this should be stuff like this. So the home, can you please go to the home? So like if I'm just the person that don't really have time and reading these things, and the important part, what I want to get is, I'm doing something online, I must be I must be sure of what I want to order, and I'm going to pay honestly. But looking at this, it's not even giving me a good impression what I want to get, and there should be some words that even before reading from up to down, I will have gotten what I need there. I will have gotten what I need there. So that's one. And the usage of the image illustration, I don't know what the person that designed it really know that they are not good enough. They are not good enough. So, and also I think under the is it under wait, I'm coming under the contact us, and the contact us was like there's no, let me say, when something one thing about online thing is online marketing and having a website to go and order something online. The website doesn't give you, someone can't come in and be educated and said you want to order something from this site like this. The email should be more or less visible, should be visible, and at least there should be more than just their emails there. There should be more than their emails there, not just only email. So other rules apply to it. I talked about the space. Then I talked about the space. Doesn't really make sense. And also I don't know how, maybe it's the person that developed the website that, I don't know. It should be the designer that write the Pen Island pens. Pen Island pens. Like pen, I don't know why the pen and the pens again are both than the other. I don't know why. It's very bold. And let me see, under their, I think this one is under their testimonials is still okay. But again, when you are looking for something in the website, the chop that will give you easily recognition of this what you are looking for is not that okay. And it's too, I don't know, it's too just, and the shadow I said earlier, there are some shadows that even it's inside the design that's not really okay. It doesn't need the shadow there at all. So that's for this website, ma.
Oh, okay. So please let me correct one thing that you said there. Their testimonial is still okay. It's not okay. Oh. There's nothing okay about this testimonial. Like there's nothing okay about it. But I've seen, okay, Survey Monkey. So this is one website. We're supposed to do two.
So I want to paste the other website.
Okay.
So just give me some minutes. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Okay. Tag and signs. It's like your own website. They used to have
And like
the first one is Pen Islands Pen.
okay.
Tag and signs. Like
Okay. So this is the second website. And as you can see, I think right there, no, colors also speaks. If I'm not using a desktop site, if I'm using a phone and I want to see these websites, I don't know, it's very, very bad. If someone that's not using a phone search for these websites and is not on desktop mode, honestly, you'll be afraid that what the hell is this website? Honestly, because you are using desktop and you can see it's still good. That's what that's how you can rate that. Okay, let's see the interface. So the first things one must see in this website is what they are doing, and the pictures there that are at the, maybe at the edge of the this thing should be in a way that it should be in the first thing that they will see in the website. It should be there. Maybe the picture should be there and know, okay, instead of bringing it here. So, and also the website, if you press on anything, it's still under this one that you are seeing. It won't take you to anywhere, honestly. So when you tick our services, it will come down to show you services. Your home, this is the home, and everything it's on the home. That's where you'll be seeing everything. So I think that, and so what I would say is the usage of, let me say, the icons on our services. I don't know if you see it clearly. It's not really that visible. It's not really that visible. As I said earlier, it should be more visible, that someone will see that, tools like settings and these signs, services and permitting should be more visible, and even before you read the word there, you will have seen the icon as well. This is it. So under the images, our works, what they use, the works. So there's also, maybe, it is different image the person is trying to show there. Different image. You should at least segment it under, like, there should be maybe an outline. I don't know if that would be good or better. That this and another image, this another image, this another image, because it's a sign, and there's even one in the middle that you can't even see the sign very well. And how will you know that this is a good sign, and you'll be able to, to give them work or give them your own project that you want to do? I don't know, because it's not really showing. The sign there gone is only the building that we are already seeing how the building is fine, but we didn't see how their work that they do it reflect. So under who we are also, under who we are, I think the background there is affecting the text. The background there, the picture, the image there, like, it will be redirecting them to other things instead of focusing on what they are doing. The background it doesn't contradict. How would I say it? It's not okay with the background. Should it be more transparent, or maybe should be more transparent? So that's, if you look at the social media and stuff like that, at the bottom of the website, I think the person used both. The alignment is good. The alignment is good. But under the tag and sign, maybe because of its up, I don't know. The alignment has OT1 I don't know. I'm sorry. It has shifts than, so I don't know, maybe the person used grid or ruler to measure it. But the alignment has been good from this signs design build install. It has, when you look at it to the bottom of the website, the alignment is straight. But when you look up at the tech team signs, that's shifted. That's shifted. And their numbers that they write on this word is not even showing. If you look at the top, tag team sign, we design, the build, the install. It's not showing well. Maybe it's not less important. Maybe it's less important, I mean. Maybe it's less important. Maybe that's why. And their contact, I don't even see how we will contact them here without even sending mails to them. Okay, I think I've seen their contact, but it's more important. The contact is bigger than how it is. It's at the bottom, but we can't see it very well. We can't see it very well. It's only the one that you fill the names and the emails with what we need, and with the messages, and we submit. The number is not really visible, and it's one of the essential parts that customers should see easily when they enter the website, because that's what they want. They want to speak with the organization. So that's that about the second website now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I really, one thing I love about everybody that I've spoken so far is the fact that they took their time to analyze the website. So this is supposed to be your regular routine. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is supposed to be your regular routine, assignment or not. You're supposed to look for terrible websites if you want to grow, and then you're supposed to look for terrible websites or good website and be able to copy patterns, and also be able to see what they did wrong and what they did right. So this is supposed to be our regular routine. So it's 11:30 and we're supposed to go on our 30 minutes break to come back by 12. Um it's break time, except you would want us to just run through the process then end by 12:30. But I think we should just go on break and come back so that you can go and see all the website that you've seen so far. Go and see it. Look for something, look for something to use and watch the eye so that your design pattern will not be like this. So guys, you can go on your break now, come back by 12 o'clock. So it's not surveys, it's not all of those things. Remember that there are some other research that you can do to help build to know what users want and help them build that kind of product. And that one of them is one of the research that you can do is A and B testing. So for A and B testing, the research that I'm going to be listing here, some are not before the beginning of the project. So like I said in the class on Wednesday, I was it on Wednesday or Monday, I said something that you can conduct research at any point. So research is not something you just do one off and you leave it. So you do research at every point. You do it at the beginning of a project. You do it at the end of a project, and then you do it in between the projects. Even when the project is in the market and you're not designing, you can also do research to be able to gather insights about what is happening so far. So one of the research that you can do is one method is attitudinal method. That one you get to collect data about people's perspective. We've talked about this one. Now you have A and B testing. For A and B testing, what you basically do is you deploy two versions of your website and allow them to check which one is better. So it's just like I have a login screen here, and I have another login screen. So what I get to do is I get to show them to give the two to users, and I'll get to compare the two, which one is giving us best results. So from the one that is giving us the best results, that's what we'll get to take. Now we have the analytic kind of report or the analytic kind of research that you use Google Analytics and all of that to get this particular metrics. You'll be able to check and say, okay, users were able to click this website. 20 users were able to click this website. 30 users have been able to click this website. So because of that, we are certain that this is working. So this is a form of research that you need to conduct as a product person at every point. So you've already built your website or your mobile app out there in the market. You want to know, because there are some things that we use to test the success of a product. So we also get to look at those particular things that we use to test the success of a product. How do you say, okay, this product is now working, or this product is good, this product is bad, and all of that. One of it is per click, like the number of click that you get the number of click that you get from people. You get to say, okay, this has worked so far, we're able to get this, so I would say our work is successful and all of that. Then that's for A and B testing. Remember that you test two different products to be able to know which one has converted or which one is converting more. Now we have the behavioral method that you go to people's and you get to study somebody's behavior. You study it for a while to know if they are actually behaving the way you want them to behave. Now, one of the methods that you use in this particular kind of research is usability testing, where you get to test the product and say, okay, this is working, so because of that we are going to use it. We have cat sorting generally. Cat sorting is just you. So I will emphasize on cat sorting now because The next things we'll start doing, we'll get to require us to use card sorting. I want to design a project and I give it to users and tell them that this should suggest where they want these items should be arranged. So you arrange these items based on their suggestions and all of that. We have the click stream analytics. So for this particular research method, what we do is we analyze pages by pages. You get, so just the way you analyze the home page, you go to the about us page and all of that. You're going to this is going to help you to be able to detect if there is any navigation error, like that website that we were able to check, those websites that we checked. If you notice or if you figure out, there were so many. Oh, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about the different research that you can conduct that is not interview and surveys. You know that we've done interview and surveys already. So there are also different research that you can conduct that is not interview, that is not survey. So that's what I'm listing. So the first one I talked about is the A and B testing, where what you do is you design two variations of your website. So let me so I'm coming, let me share my screen so that we'll be checking the images of this one after the other. It's like B testing. So this is basically what you do for A and B testing. For A and B testing, you give them two variations of the design. You give them design A and you give them design B and tell them to compare which one is better and which one they would prefer more. So just the way we have this particular design, it can be that you use different colors. So this is it, for instance. You give them A and you give them B, and you tell them to check which one is better. Is it A or B? So if, for instance, you had 50 people visit A using A and you have 50 visitors with B, you have them, the two of them. So the two platforms, you're giving it to them. And then from the conversion rate, you can see that 15%, you have 15% conversion for A, and you have 36% conversion for B. Now, what do we mean by conversion? That's success, the number of people that actually used it and all of that. Which will you say from this thing that you can see now, this image, which will you say is better based on what users did? So from this picture, which variation would you say is better?
B.
Version B, I think
Yeah,
so.
so that's it. So this particular method is just the way we do our online voting, normal voting, where just the way we have all of these talent shows, Big Brother and the rest of them, when someone that is supposed to leave the show is not leaving the show because more users are voting for that kind of person. So that's what this particular one is. But this for this one, it's a whole lot of work. So it's not as easy as you think. It's a whole lot of work because you have to design A and design B to be able to give them, for them to choose, to say, okay, this is what I want, this is what we are giving to you for you to choose. So that's A and B. Then we talked about analytics, Google Analytics. So that's like one of the platform where you use it for. So for Google Analytics, what you do is you get to put your website link, you get to analyze your website to see if you get to check how users, the percentage of users that are joining, that are using it, the percentage of users that are checking out. You'll be able to analyze to see the different places that users are interacting with your website. You can use Adobe Analytics or you use Google Analytics to actually do this. And then we have card sorting. So like I said, card sorting is this kind of, so which person's mic is unmuted? Can you just help me mute it? So mostly images, that's what I'm going to be showing us. So for card sorting, what you're doing basically is, so this is how you arrange card sorting, something like this. Now you have just a simple explanation. You want to buy footballers, you're a coach, and or let's say you're a general coach and you want to buy footballers for two teams or three teams. You want to buy for Man U, Chelsea, and Liverpool, for instance. And then you list Man U. So just the way you have this here now, You get to list mine where you have understand, and you have Chelsea where you have plan, and you have what's Liverpool where you have create, and
Okay.
maybe Arsenal where you have the last one. So all you do now, you now write the names of these players and keep them in a basket or keep them on top of the table. And you now tell your users to come to the table and pick a particular name and help you put it where. So it's just like telling them, okay, where do you think this player would function well? So when you pick the names, the name, just put it where you feel that it's going to be. So let's say I'm a user and I pick, you have users come and they pick Ronaldo and they put Ronaldo in Arsenal, and they pick Messi and they put him in Arsenal, and they pick some other players, Rooney, all of those players, and they start arranging them. So when you're not trying to analyze your results, you get to use, or when you're trying to arrange your designs the way you want it to arrange. This is mostly for information architecture, for navigation. You're trying to now arrange it. What you do is you get to now choose the places that they are arrange these players. It's obvious that that's where you buy those players for. So if majority of the users are coming to now put Messi, they put Messi in Arsenal, you just know that you're going to buy Messi for Arsenal club. So are we clear with this particular card sorting kind of research?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. So the next kind of research we talk about is clickstream analytics. For clickstream analytics, what you're doing is you're trying to analyze page by page. Sorry guys. So for this particular one, you're trying to analyze page. So you're trying to analyze page by page. You're trying to check, okay, this page is getting more traffic than this page. Our about us page is getting more traffic than our contact us page. So all of those things, that's what you're trying to check in this particular kind of research. Then we have what we call concept testing. So for concept testing, what you're doing is you're trying to
Please, ma,
test.
excuse me, ma.
Oh, okay.
Please, ma, I did not understand the last one you just said.
Which is clickstream. So I said this is like
Yes, ma.
analyzing different pages, just the way you have about us, you have home, you have contact us. So what you're doing is you're analyzing the sequence of pages that a user should visit. So let's say if I come on your page and I finish from home page, and the next place I go to is contact us page, and then the next place I go to is about us. So that's the sequence of the visit that I did, the sequence of visit that I did. So what I'm going to do in that particular situation is I'll analyze and say, okay, this is how they visited this page. So you get to also find out if there is errors, if you made mistake in your your navigation design and all of that. So do you understand this now? So it's based on the pages that a user visits. So you're not just using one page to join. You're using based on the pages, the sequence, how they move. So let's say I want to go to Yaba, for instance, and I entered a vehicle from Ojota, and I go straight to Yaba. That's the first way. Now, another way can be that I'll get to go through Ogudu, turn around to Maryland, then I get to Yaba. Or I stop at Maryland and I enter Yaba. Different ways. So you get to look at the different routes that these people follow to arrive at the particular destination that they want to arrive at. Then we have concept testing. Are you clear with that?
All right, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yeah.
Yes, ma. Thank you.
So we have concept testing. So what you do for this particular one is you get to research, you get users to help you know about a particular idea. So you want to come up with an idea. What you do in this particular stage is just like discovery method. You're using them to actually see if this product, if it's going to be something, like you just have the idea, you've not even started. You know that there's a difference between having an idea and then starting to plan, starting your UI journey, or you want to now start building the products for it. So, but this one is just the concept you have, and then you want to get users' thoughts, their attitude about a particular product. You're not even asking, you're not even telling them about the solution. You're just telling them this is it, and all of that. Then we have the another form that we have is diary study. So what you do for diary study is you help to collect data about users, their activities over an extended period of time for months. So let's say I want to collect study about, so you just imagine when you're in school, when you're doing your project, undergraduate project, was it, no, not undergraduate, when you did your IT, they gave you a logbook during that process. And what you were doing in your logbook is you were filling in every experience you get from the IT. If today you are able to check this, you put that in that you're able to get it right. So that's the same thing you do for this diary study. You give them a particular book for them to log in their experiences, for them to log in any activities that was fun for them in that period of time where you're conducting your research. Then we have the ethnographical study, where you go to a user's environment to study them for a while. So it's just like field study. I want to study people in the north. I have to go to the north to stay for a while. I want to research about the different kinds of food in the north. I have to go there. I want to I want to talk about the different food that they have. I have to start eating this food to be able to get there, right? So that's it. Then we have the eye tracking kind of research. Now, for this one, what you're doing is you, as the researcher, you're fixing your gaze on the person you are using eyes. That you just fix your gaze on the person. So what you're trying to determine is you're trying to know how their eye movement, where do they go to? If I give you my phone, I'll be able to see where, let's say I give you my phone to check something, to check an image, I'll be able to trace your eye to know where is the first place you're looking at and where is the next place you're looking at. So for eye tracking, you're just observing their eye movements to see what particular place is capturing their this thing more. You get. Then we have the first click test. So for the first click test, what you're doing at this point is you're trying to observe where a user is clicking, the first click of a user, or where he clicked on first when looking at this website. So that's it for the first click test. And then we have the 5-second test. So for this one, you want to check if let's say your buttons is actually visible for users. What you get to do at this point is you give them your phone, or you give them show them the design, or show them something for 5 seconds. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you remove it from their eyes and you tell them to describe what they saw. So from their description, then you get to know is if what you're doing is actually visible or not. And then we have the focus group. The focus group is where you have a facilitator that will just facilitate some form of conversation amongst your group. I think I've explained this in one of the classes, but not in context, where as a user you can decide to say, okay, I have this set of people, just like the name focus, and focus on this set of people, and what we are doing in this particular group is we are discussing we used to do that in school, where during exams we just have a particular set of people that we read with. So what we do then is we just bring out different questions from what we've read so far and ask ourselves, and we are able to now talk about it, discuss about this particular method to know if we are on point, if we're answering it, and then we'll be getting ideas from this person. This person answers this question differently, this person answers it differently, and all of that. And then we have gorilla testing. So this particular method it's called gorilla method. For this particular method, what you do is you get to give your users. So you don't have any focus group, you don't have any target audience in your head. What you're doing is you're going out to the streets and you're using anybody you see for your testing. So let's say, for instance, this is what church people or the church people they do. They want to do evangelism. They are going out to win souls, and then they don't have a particular set of people in mind. They can just go to this environment, and once they see you walking on the road, or once they see you, they just come to you and start preaching to you. Then it's at the end of it, this thing that they will not ask you, are you a Christian? Are you born again? Are you this? And then if you are their target audience, will now lead you to Christ, something like that. So for this particular method, you don't have anybody in mind. You just go, you can decide to say, okay, I'm going to Yaba, and I have this mobile app. I want to give it to anybody that is in Yaba to test. So anybody is your target audience at that point. For this particular kind of research, you might want to do it to see your kind of people in a particular environment. You get. So anybody you see can be your target audience for the particular thing you want to do at that point. So that's it for gorilla testing. So is there any question? Then we have tree testing. Is there any question on this?
No, ma.
Oh,
Continue, ma.
okay. So we have the tree testing. For the tree testing kind of method, what we do is we there's an hierarchy of how you arrange things based on your information architecture, right? So what you're doing is you're telling users to find a particular information in specific location. So it's just like me, I want to play a game and I decide to that year they'll tell you it's police catch thief, something like that, where they'll put different things somewhere and tell you to find it. So that's what like tree testing is, where they'll get to put different things that they can put about us here, they can put this here, and then they will not tell you as a user to find it. The whole purpose of this particular research is you trying to find out if users can locate a particular thing on your website without difficulty. So you can just place them in and say, okay, locate so for e-commerce now, say I want you to buy PS5. I'll just say locate PS5. And then you now start it looking for where it's there. If you find it, then yeah, the three tests were successful. That means it's not difficult to find. But if you could not find it, that means it's difficult to find. That means what am I supposed to do as a product designer? I need to redesign that to be able to ensure that this is easy to find. People won't look for it anyhow. And then user testing. For user testing, you are telling a participant or you're telling them to perform a particular task. See, you want them to log in and you're giving them your app. So all of this kind of research, if you can observe very well, you notice that the research that we've been talking about so far, these are like research that you conduct when you have a prototype. So it's not just, like I said, it's not just this survey and interview we are doing at the beginning. But when we get to different process, we'll get to check it out. So for your final these things we're doing finally. So it will be so great that we'll get to test it. So if because for the graduation now they'll get to invite people. So at that point, sometimes you don't even need to start sharing your screen and all of that. You can just be testing. When we get to user testing, you just need to share your link to everybody and tell just where you do your attendance, share the link and let them test it on their own phones and be able to give you real feedback about the app that you've done. So that's for user testing. You have the application, and then you're telling them that, okay, this is what you're going to do. Now we have the Wizard of OZ. The Wizard of OZ is also a kind of research method, but this is a moderated kind of research method. Remember that we have moderated and unmoderated. So for this one, what you're doing is you're giving your users the prototype, and then there's someone that is controlling it. So let's say this one is mostly for testing product itself. So you'll be someone who will control a particular part that a user is supposed to see, or they will control a particular part that the user is not supposed to see and then give it to the users in a controlled kind of way. So that's it. Is there anyone I'm trying to? So let me check if there's anyone that I've not explained so far. I think I've basically touched almost all the research methods. Okay, it's mapping. There's one that we call it mapping. For it mapping, what you're doing is you're actually mapping out how a user actually clicks and scroll on your website. That's what you're mapping out. You're saying, okay, this user was able to click here, this user was able to click here, and all of that. So basically, that's what you're mapping for it mapping. So is there any question?
No, ma'am.
Sorry, I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, which of the testing can you recommend to be the best type of testing?
Okay, so there's no best type of testing. There's nothing like a best kind of testing. But then what I'm going to say is there's some testing that is more. So I prefer that you even use the two kind of testing. When I mean the two, that's qualitative and quantitative. If you want to, depending also, it's depending on what you want to achieve with the research. So if you want to know the number of persons that want a particular product, or you want to know if a product is relevant or is going to be relevant, the best type of research to use is survey, because that you're going to get the number of persons that used it. But if you want to solve a problem particular to a certain target audience, the best type of research to use is interview, so that you can hear their pinpoint and know the extent to which it is paining them or the extent to which is annoying them. Then if you want to now check between A and B, which is better, you have to use A and B testing, right? If you want to do like conduct a form of random kind of want to conduct like a random kind of research, you don't have a particular target audience in your mind, the one you use is guerrilla testing. If you want to check the number of persons that have visited your website in a certain period of time, what you get to do is you have to use Google Analytics kind of research. Then if you want to be able to check users' eye movements, use eye tracking. If what you want to find out is people way of life, how they live and all of that, what do you use? You use ethnographical kind of research, where you go to their environment to now observe them for a while. But then if you want to use if you want to check ah, what should I use now? You want to check if people are dropping out from your website, you know that you use Google Analytics. If you want to observe people's way of life, ethnographic. So it just depends on what you want to achieve per time. Is with what you want to achieve. And then if you want to spark, if you want people to go and talk about their ideas and all of that, you want to spark conversations with people, the kind of research that you get to use is focus group, right? You get to use focus group kind of research to allow people talk about what they want to do and all of that. So depending on your goals, so I won't say there's a best way or there's no best way, depending on what you want to achieve. And also you get to check the resources that are available. For some of these kind of research, they are so expensive. Ethnographic is expensive, because just imagine you want to test, you want to and be able to know how people in Canada they live. You have to go to Canada to stay there. So depending on the resources that you have, the time that you have, and then your goal, what you want to achieve, you can now choose a particular research method to use. So Richard, have I answered your question?
Yes, you have. But one more question, please.
Okay.
Okay, yes. Is this from the same website you recommended you giving us? Like, if I want to get the typed version of what you just explained now, is it from the
Yes.
same website you recommended? The UI,
Yes.
UX, I think. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. So like I said, you can also find out these things yourself. Like you can find them yourself online. Just type and you'll get responses. So the last thing we'll be looking at today before we call it a day is what we call UX return on investment. So how will you measure that you've done something right from all that you've been doing? How do you measure that? One of the ways to measure it is you measure based on increased conversions. So when they ask you as a UI UX person or as a product designer, remember that as a product designer, what is going to make people employ you is the fact that you have track records. For digital marketers, they'll tell you that they've done the work when based on the number of people that were able to convert from prospects to leads or from leads to something like that. They'll tell you, okay, for social media marketers or social media managers, what they used to test is the number of people that have followed the website that they are handling. the number of engagements that they have, the number of likes that they have. These are the things that they use to say, okay, they've done well as this particular set of people. But we, for UX, for product designers, things that we use to check that we've really done well. One is increased conversions, the number of people that visited the website, and not just the number of people that visited. We also get to check enhanced customer retainment. So how many persons visited the website? 1,000 people visited the website, and 1,000 people are still using these our products now. So that's one thing that we get to check. Then we also get to check the improved team productivity. So let's say before they employed you as a UX person, you were having what's it called? They were spending hours logging in, but then that you came in, they now spend fewer hours or fewer minutes logging in. So you need to say, okay, 20 people did this. Now another thing that we use is um support cost, reduce support cost. Before you came into the web to the company, all of that, let's say their websites, people were calling every day to ask about a particular thing, when about a particular thing, and then when you were not around. But now that you are around, people are no longer calling. Not like they are no longer calling, but they've reduced the time that they used to call you. So for the person that asked for attendance, let me look for it. They've reduced the time that people used to call you to ask for a particular thing. So that's one thing that we also use to measure our success. Another thing we use to measure our success is reduce development costs. So before you came in, let's say they were spending more on developing websites that is not worth it, that people are always giving excuse or corrections and all of that. But since you came in, they've reduced all of those things. Now, because you came in, you are building just one website because you are able to do your usability testing to make all the corrections users will give before you push it to the developers. So let me show us some instances where people were able to say, okay, we actually achieved this and we did not achieve this. One of the example that you can see here is for Mozilla. I don't know, we all know Mozilla Firefox as at a particular time. So Mozilla received fewer support calls after they spent 14 weeks on usability improvements. So they had to spend 14 weeks. So what happened is before people were actually calling them every time. But when they use their 14 weeks to do usability checks and improve their website, people stopped to call them. Another example is Humana. It's an insurance health company. So what they did is they had two different websites and they gave it out to people to check. Now this is from their results, they said almost 433% more clicks. That means people were preferring a particular so this is their old one, this is now the new one that they have. So this was the old one and it was not having any form of traction, but the new one, because of how they did use with a UX person, they now have more people clicking on the website. As a human being, I would prefer the second one to the first one that I can see here. So another example is Virgin America website. Before they did their usability tests. Oh, okay. So before they did their usability test, they used to have people not use the website, people drop off on the website. But after they finished their research using research method to check all of those things, they had 14% increase in conversion rate and 20% fewer support calls. So if you're writing your CV and you want people to be able to employ you, you need to put all of these successes. Before I came to this company, they had people complaining about the website itself. But now that I'm in the company, people no longer complain as they ought to. As they ought to. Now there's another website which is Ref. So before they did their previous design, this is their previous design. they had people dropping off. There was no speed and all of that. But after that, they had 18% in conversion rate in 9 months. Vector, same thing. Before the website was for older generation. The navigation was confusing. This was what people were complaining about. Navigation was confusing. People were not able to zoom in on their images. The checkout process was complicated. But after the website redesigned with the help of a UX person, they now started having 75% higher than what they used to have. So you can see that all of these things are very important, like very important, very, very important. This is it. Now, one of the reasons why you should take research very serious as a human or as a product person is that for every $1 you invest in research, you would have to get between $2 and $100. So I invest $1 to conduct a research, or I invest 1 million naira to go to Ghana to conduct a research. Now, and I build a product that people would want based on in their environment. One thing you need to note is the return on investment is always double of it, or even more than double of it. Then top companies use UX. If you don't use UX, people will not use it. It has high conversion rate. So these are things that you need to always think of. Now, there are some things you need to also reason when you're trying to conduct your research and all of that. One is usability. Let people be able to use it. They should be able to find something. Your navigation bar should be seamless and all of that. So that's one thing you should always consider if you want to start designing using all of the laws. Check your navigation first. Check how easy it is for people to be able to search on the website. You now need to search consistency, that's UI, from UI to interaction to animation. Check all of that. Then the next thing you need to check is your user flow. Your flow should be seamless. I tell people that instead of putting 5-step registration for people, put it one step and let them do. When they join, they can now complete the other ones. So always think of your workflow. How will people navigate this thing? How will I? So it's just like in our normal life. If I see a shorter route that will take me to Obudu, I'll follow the shorter route than the longer route. So if this longer route is more expensive, I'll prefer to look for a place that is not more expensive. So that's it. Improve your workflow. It's going to improve your productivity. So technically or basically, we've come to the end of today's class. We've been able to cover up UX laws, then the remaining some examples of
Sorry,
research
man, before
methods
you
that
finish,
we
man.
are going to do.
Sorry, man, before you finish, man. Yeah, I
Okay.
have a question concerning how to check if our work is of a success or not. I think you talk about the digital marketing. You said when they want to check their own success, how people are visiting the website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the UI creator, you said the way to create to check their own success is how people are increasing in visiting their website too. That if after you have done your creation and people start seeing changes and people start increasing in checking it. So I want to ask what about the coding? Those people who code, are they not part of it too? Because I see this as the three people that work interrelated in making this app a success. The digital will do their work, the UI to will do their own work too. So I think the coding to have parts in it because it depends on how good the coding behind this creation which you have done. That's how we make people to see it as a good app for them to come and visit. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I understand your question. So to answer your question, remember that in every this in class, in every sorry. Sorry for that. I had to respond to something. So for there's something that we call them the team, the development team. Yeah. So you're not doing this alone, but you're the one fostering it. Because one thing I've come to understand is some of these websites you saw, it's because people, there was no UI person or UX person. Now, before, how do they build websites? The person that is coding will just say, okay, I've done this website before and this is how it's supposed to work, right? And they start building it. But now that there's a UX or there's a UI, remember that if you're doing the UI, what you're doing is you're sending it to them for them to code it. Now, the good thing is, if you follow up very well, what you code, what you design is what they will code. So what you have is what will go out. So if you don't do it well, what will go out is not their business. And nobody is going to blame these people. Nobody is going to call the development team. What you hear is, if you visit a website and the website is not good, you say, oh, bad front-end development process. No. What you say is bad UX, bad UI. These are the words you use. You will never say, this code, bad code. But the way the code is bad, because you don't see all of those things. You don't see it. What you see is the experience, what you experience it, and you see the interface. So if you do your work well, they will do it well. If you do your work well, digital marketing team will even have less work. So you are like the person that is carrying everybody. So once your work is bad, every other part, every other aspect is bad. What you design is what they will code for you, except you're working with a newbie. And there's something in the development cycle that we do is, which after I'm done with my own testing and I pass it over to the person to code, the person finish coding it, there is still a code review. They also still review it. Then there's a part where they will now say this is now ready for deployment before they will now put it out to the general public. So there's a process, but you have to do your own work well before then. So it's not like once you design and the code finish, they are sending it out. No, they will also get to do testing. You also get to check if the design, what you designed is what is on the code. So you also get to follow up this thing back to back.
Okay, ma'am. My last question, ma'am. Yeah, you might have said something about this question, which I might not remember, but I will need to ask it so that I can be able to connect it with what you just said now. Please, what is the difference between UI and UX?
So UI
is there any difference at all?
Yes, UI is user interface, what you see. UI is the fine girl, UI is the fine boy. That's what you see. Anything you see, that's UI on the mobile app or the website or any product you're building, that's UI. Then for UX is the experience. How do they feel when they use your product? When I mean the experience is your product too hard to use? Can they easily find something and they get it? So one is user experience, the other one is user interface. Then when you bring the two together with the business part of it, then it's a product design. So all of the things I've been explaining, these are not really work of a UI UX person. When you chose it, you chose product design. So as a product designer, that's why you're concerned about all of these things we have been saying. So I've answered your question. Hello?
Yes, you have, ma'am. You have answered
Okay.
it. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so is there another question? We've basically come to the end of today's class. Any other question? Any question for me? Okay, so if there's no question, next faculty admin, do you have anything to announce to them? Because we are done with today's class. So guys, my final words to you is please wrap up everything you're supposed to wrap up from your user research and all of that. But remember that all should be on a sheet. Everything should be on a sheet. Sorry, I said on a sheet, on your Google Docs, everything. Please complete it this weekend so that we don't get to drag ourselves from next week. We have 3 weeks now more to go. The 3 weeks that 3 weeks is not like technically is 15 days. It's just 9 days remaining. So that 9 days we're supposed to build a product before the 9 days is over.
So are you talking about the assignment you gave us yesterday?
Yes, all the assignments I've given us, like all the assignments, arrange all and put and complete.
Okay, yeah. Concerning the assignment, the first assignment you gave to us yesterday concerning the survey question, which we went to Survey Monkey, the one you taught us yesterday. Are we going to put that one also into the assignment, or you are just going to drop the link for you to check that one
So you
separately?
just put the link on the sheet, the Google Docs that you're supposed to
The Google
submit.
Docs.
Just put
Okay,
yes,
okay,
just put the link
okay.
there.
Oh, very good. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what about the second one for the face-to-face interview?
So that one, you just need to take maybe a screenshot. If you do the recording, just upload all of them on Google Drive and send the link there too. But if you did not do recordings and you took pictures, upload the pictures there.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, also, if you've not filled your attendance, this is the best time to do it. It's on the chat. Fill your attendance.